Hello, gorgeous. My name is Natalie McCrae. I'm the founder of Natalie's Nutrition and creator of the Smarter Fat Loss System, a 12-week system through which I help women stop cravings, balance their metabolic hormones so they can lose weight more easily without giving up chocolate or spending endless hours at the gym. So, congratulations to you. Today is day 5, and you have survived. So, pat yourself on the back for that, for showing up and really being committed to learning about this and committed to change as well. So, now that you've made it through the first 4 days, you've got the food stuff down. I incorporated the 4 food related things that I know are the most important to taming sugar cravings. And nobody is talking about them, which is such a shame because lives could be transformed with this information alone. Okay? So I'd love to know, how's all this going for you? I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear about your food wins. So make sure that you get in touch with me either by replying to today's email or simply leave a comment in the Facebook group. I'd love to hear from you. So as you've seen in the guide today, we're going to be moving away from our metabolic hormone insulin, which we've rebalanced through food, and we're going to be paying a visit to our metabolic hormone cortisol, which is usually imbalanced through lifestyle factors that influence cravings. And that, my friends, is stress. So let's talk a little bit about stress. And I'm going to keep this really short because I actually want to talk a little bit about weight loss today, and I'm going to squeeze it all in to make this as short as possible. So stress is so intertwined with cravings and weight management. It's crazy. And I know you probably know that stress is bad news, but what women often don't realize is, and I say women specifically because men are not as affected by this, what women don't realize is that stress can make you gain weight. Okay? It makes it also not only does it make you gain weight, but it makes it really hard to lose weight as well. Okay? Now, stress evolved as a biological response to life-threatening stressors like being chased by a bear or by a lion. And these stressors were very short-lived. And, they were a big strain on our body. We would still recover because if we survived, the stressor was gone. Okay? It was just a short moment in time. Now, today, stress, it's still a good thing as it helps you wake up in the morning, it helps you get out of bed, get your day started. So your hormone, cortisol, is naturally highest in the morning. At least it should be. Now, if you're waking up at 2 a.m. every night and you struggle to get out of bed in the morning, you probably have a cortisol imbalance that needs attention, and this could be a root cause of your cravings, okay? Also, generally, stress today is very different because instead of being chased by a bear, we face daily stressors like the computer crashes, or you worry about money. Actually, my computer just crashed because there was a bug running across my desk and I stressed out over it, right? And my computer fell and I was worried that it was broken, that I would have to pay all the money to get it fixed. And, our mind is very powerful and it can create a lot of very stressful situations for us that are just fiction, okay? It can also happen that you saw something on social media or the news that triggered you, or you're just very tired. You haven't slept enough. That's a source of stress. Maybe you're overworked, or you've overexercised and you've overworked. Okay, all these triggers, all of these things are triggers for stress responses. So keep that in mind. Stress is not us running around like a chicken with its head cut off, right? It's simply us thinking about the worst case scenario most of the time. So whichever it is, the same happens when stress is initiated, whether it's emotional, so in our head, or whether it's physical, okay? So not only does stress make us crave sugar and store fat, but it places that stored fat in the worst place possible, which is your belly, okay? So there's actually a term called the cortisol belly, because there's even a lot of women that generally don't have weight issues, but they have a belly. And normally that's because there's some kind of cortisol imbalance in the body, okay? Now, and the problem with all these stressors that I just listed out for you is that they don't end quickly, okay? They're here to stay unless we do something about them. So that in summary is why stress affects cravings as well as weight management and belly fat. And we really, really want to address that area, okay? Now, we talked a lot about cravings these past days, but I know that most of you are here because you also want to lose some extra weight. So let's chat about that for a minute before I sign off for the day. Okay, so ending cravings puts you one step closer to achieving your weight loss goal. But there are a few more things that are working against you that I want to highlight here to help you to put you on the right path, okay? Now, I know that, celebrities like Kim Kardashian or other celebrities swear by their detox teas or these magic pills, and all these things sound very tempting, but what you need to know is that these people are being paid ridiculous amounts of money to say the things that they're saying, okay? None of these things actually work. And if you're anything like my clients from the Smarter Fat Loss System, you've probably tried a few of them and you've realized that, you're not getting the results that you want. So you spend all this money, but nothing is really working. So that's why I really want to share these things with you, because unfortunately, what the weight loss industry fails to do is share the truth. And specifically, the weight loss industry has done a big disservice to women because a lot of the research in the past has been done on men only. So what I want you to understand is that weight loss for women is actually very different because, as I already highlighted when we talked about stress and cortisol, is that women's bodies, women's hormones react differently to things than they do for men. So yes, a man can lose weight by counting calories and exercising, but in a woman's body, it just does not work the same way, okay? And that brings me to the number one thing that works against women that are trying to lose weight, and it's that they ignore their hormones, okay? Instead, they focus on the same old eating less, exercising more, eating healthy. And you know what? All these things, they play a small role in weight loss. But if you're only focusing on these things, you will keep losing and gaining the same 10 pounds over and over again, okay? That's because hormones, your metabolic hormones, are the true driving force of weight loss, okay? They make up 80%, a staggering 80% of your weight loss equation. Calorie counting is actually only responsible for 20% of weight loss. Okay, so if you haven't seen results by cutting calories, it's because you've been focusing on that 20% only. Okay, so your energy should really go towards rebalancing your hormones because that's your golden ticket to weight loss. Okay. And I mentioned metabolic hormones, so we touched on cortisol today. We've also talked about insulin before that, But there's also your thyroid hormone, there's leptin, there's ghrelin, just to name a few, okay? So all of these have to be considered when you want to have a successful weight loss strategy to achieve your goal. If you want to lose more than 5 or 10 pounds, you really want to focus on your hormones, okay? If these are not in balance, you will continue to gain weight no matter how little you eat and how much you exercise. And actually, calories have no effect whatsoever on your hormones. Okay, you can still store fat while eating 1,200 calories a day. And again, that's just because your calories they have no effect on hormones. So the metabolic hormones are the number one thing that I focus on with clients who want to lose weight. Okay, and I do that through my 12-week Smarter Fat Loss System. And that way they don't have to count calories, they don't have to give up chocolate, they don't have to spend endless hours at the gym, on the treadmill, because they're addressing what really matters, okay? So that was the first thing. The second thing that, everybody's kind of looking the other way and ignoring it, unfortunately, is inflammation. So inflammation is another key factor that the weight loss industry completely ignores, okay? Let me know if you've ever been on a diet and the first thing that they mention is inflammation, because it is actually the first thing that should be addressed. So another reason why you're not seeing results is because diets don't address inflammation, okay? Again, they're just telling you to cut calories, to eat less, to use more willpower, to exercise more. But if you're inflamed, fat loss is actually next to impossible, as inflammation keeps you in fat storing mode. Again, you could eat less and you can still be in fat storing mode if you're inflamed and if your hormones are imbalanced. Okay, the other thing about inflammation is it also makes you chronically hungry. So people tend to overeat a lot when they're inflamed, and willpower is just not going to work against that. We have to address the root cause of the problem. Now, we touched on inflammation here during this 5-day course by eliminating grains in day 2, okay? Grains, although everybody loves to label them as being healthy, especially whole grains, they are highly inflammatory, okay? And I'm not saying, again, that you have to give up grains forever, but it is something you might want to look at. And this is the thing, this is only like one of the things that help reduce inflammation. I touch on more strategies to reduce inflammation and to keep it low inside my Smarter Fat Loss System, okay? And believe it or not, most of my clients, and again, inflammation is the very first thing that I address with my clients inside the Smarter Fat Loss System. Most of my clients lose 5 to 8 pounds within like less than 10 days, just by addressing inflammation on its own, okay? Now, the third thing that could be working against you if you're trying to lose weight, and this is, again, something where the weight loss industry gives us wrong information a lot of times, this is snacking. So we talked about this already in day 4. Not only will giving up snacking help your cravings, it will also be super supportive of weight loss if this is your end goal. So snacking is great if you're an elite athlete, okay? Like my partner, he loves running. He goes out and he runs, like last week he ran 100 kilometers the entire week, not one day. So for him, snacking is really great, but because it really helps him get in more energy, more food. But if you're more of an average person like myself, I personally don't even like to exercise, so I'm more of a couch potato. Snacking is not going to serve you, even if you work out daily, okay? A lot of people work out and they're like, oh, I can now eat this because I worked out. Snacking is going to work against you even if you exercise. This is because snacking spikes your insulin, okay? Your fat-storing hormone. You want to keep insulin low so that you're not storing fat, okay? So Instead of snacking, focus on your 3 macro balanced meals a day, just like you learned these past 4 days. Okay? The fourth thing, and this is going to be the last one that I'm going to be sharing with you because these are like the big ones. The fourth thing that's working against you is fear of fat. So I truly believe that as a culture in general, we're overweight and unhealthy because we were told for so long to avoid fat like the plague. Okay, like fat's gonna kill you. But fat is your friend. Okay, if you're always hungry and if you have cravings, one of the reasons might be that you've been avoiding fat for too long or you've been under eating it. You're still buying your light products. Okay, you're fat free. And the thing is, we replace all those fats with carbohydrates, which they're like the real thing that's not serving us. Okay, so fat is essential and needed for proper brain function and hormonal health. It's important to get quality fats though. So if you've tried keto and had no results, by the way, if keto is what you want, I don't work with keto. I do have a high fat, low carb approach, but I don't work the ketogenic diet. I find it's too inflexible. But if you've tried keto and you've had no results, it's probably because you were eating just random fats. Lots of dairy, lots of cream cheese, lots of bacon, okay? And not following a system that outlines how much and what type is best for weight loss. This is super important if you want to see results, okay? So bottom line though is fat will not make you fat. Quite the opposite, actually. But you want to eat the right ones. Again, this is something that I support what my clients with inside the Smarter Fat Loss System. They know exactly what foods are more beneficial and which ones aren't for lasting weight loss, okay? So what you want to be aware of, though, here's the thing, is if you're eating high fat and combining that with high sugar, those two don't go well together, especially not if weight loss is your end goal, okay? I know this can all be a bit confusing and overwhelming. So again, having a system laid out for you that guides you through this to make it easy and avoid mistakes is super important, okay? Also, it can save you so much time and trial and error that you would otherwise be wasting on Google just searching for random answers, okay? All right, so those were like the 4 things that could be working against you. Now, I've got one more gift for you before I sign off for the day. If you're ready to lose weight for good, without stomach growls or without giving up chocolate or spending endless hours at the gym, let's chat and see if you qualify for my Smarter Fat Loss System. So I'm offering you a free call to talk to me, 100% free, but I do have limited spots available in my calendar for those of you that are ready to take the next step and stop the frustrating trial and error and lose the weight for good, okay? So I invite you to schedule a free call. I call them a free weight loss breakthrough call to help get clarity around what is and isn't working for you. We can see, which of the things that I listed before are the ones that you might be doing and are not aware of, okay? And what we could do is also discuss possible next steps for you to see if the Smarter Fat Loss System is a fit for you or not. There's zero obligation. Again, this is a gift for you. It's a free call with me. And my ultimate goal is to help give you clarity and point you in the right direction, whether that is working with me or not. It's different for everybody. I just want to be there and talk to you and offer this gift to you, okay? So you have nothing to lose, and there's, again, absolutely no obligation to sign up for anything, to pay for anything. The link is below, so you can just click on that and see my schedule, see whatever availability is there. So that is officially a wrap. I hope that this was valuable for you. I thank you so much for showing up, for being a part of this. this is truly my passion to share this with women to help get you on the right path out there. I think we've been given wrong information for way too long. And I hope that you've been able to see that there's a physiological reason that you have cravings, and make the connection that when you change what you eat, fundamentally you can change so many other things in your life that seem unrelated, right? Like energy crashes, even cravings, weight loss, etc. I also hope that you've been able to see how much more effective it is to overcome a problem that caused you so much frustration for so long through a proven system with the help and support of an expert. Okay? Have a lovely day. And again, I'd love to hear from you. Just hit reply or comment in the Facebook group.